Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Outta Savannah. I am super excited. My guest, Claudia, is here and he's going to tell you all about himself and who he is. He's going to even share his whole name and everything with you. So, Claudia, take it away.
Oh, hi, Tammy. Hi, everybody. Hi, friends. Well, you can say it, Claudio, all the way from Romania. So, you know, we're gonna get there. Nice to meet you, everyone.
Yes. So, tell us a little bit about, who you are and what it is that you do.
Well, I appreciate your question. So, I'm a guy, 36 years young man, sometimes a little bit crazy, with with quotation marks there. Well, I do help psychic and mediums and holistic creators run successful businesses, and that's it. That's where I am, and on the side, I'm experiencing few things here and there, and seeing what makes sense in my life at this point. And about my background, I have over 20 years experience in technology. I worked as what they call an architect in tech field. So I used to help hundreds of companies and individuals with their digital needs, with their online presence, with architecting designs for them.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until a few years ago that I realized psychic mediumship and this kind of holistic professionals, it's truly what makes me happy. And then
Mm.
I pivoted.
So, okay. So, how did you, because that wouldn't like be a really natural pivot. So how did you go from that to helping? How explain that?
Okay. When I look back at my life, I've been always be doing this kind of work, helping people with technology. But I also realize when you help a person, when you understand their needs, actually it's much deeper than that. It becomes a one-on-one session. It becomes very personal. It goes beyond that business need. You get to know that person as a human being.
Hmm.
And often we do end up having more of a friendship relationship. And to me, I really appreciated this connection to people. And if I could help them, I will be happy about that. And I always had this role as a consultant, you see.
Hmm.
And with the passing of time, I felt that maybe the area might be different. It wasn't until maybe 2018 that I ended up in a college in London, the Arthur Findlay College for Psychic Development. Um, so I liked what I saw there. I liked the people I interacted there. And I've been there a few times already. There's been hundreds of people, wonderful, amazing, incredible people and teachers that I have met. And I realized that, you know what? I think I like this area better of working because I felt like we connected a little bit differently.
Hmm.
Um, and I noticed that there was a great need for somebody or some people who may be able to bring more advancements of technology into this field because, at least the people I met,
Hmm.
they are very good at their work, right? But
Right.
they're not tech people. They're when I say tech people, I don't see call me to help to fix your computer. I don't talk about that. I talk about, okay, I'm learning this skill. I enjoy what I'm doing, but I also have a 9 to 5 doing something else, and my hobby is something for the weekend. So I felt, how about we turn that hobby into into something that is sustaining your life,
Yeah.
something that you live every day, something that you're honoring in your life, and you're allowing that to take more, um, how to put it, to take more being into a reality. Once you're doing that gift, that talent, that skill that you have, once you do it every day, I believe, I believe really when people do something they truly love,
Hmm.
it's not work. People are happier. And I felt, I think there's something we can work with here. Opposite working with other companies, it's great helping other people in different fields, but in psychic mediumship or anything on this holistic professional field, I felt there's a time and a need for growth.
You are so right. It really is, and it's difficult. I was talking with someone earlier, and we were talking about how We have worked with different coaches and stuff like that. And, and so many of them are on the hustle end of the thing. And, and we're so not there, we're so on the flow space. And, and how it just really never really worked. You work with coaches like that, you work with people in the tech area, that are helping you business, coaches and tech people and stuff. And they're, a lot of times if they don't understand this community and this environment, it's not going to work for you, so so I think about that, and I think about how um many times and how many people have worked with some of these people, and it just doesn't work.
Mm.
And I think about that, and so you're right, we need you in this space, because not only are you, already with all that experience in tech, but now you've been exposed to this community, because you've been to Arthur Findlay College and all that. So I think it's amazing. And I was like, he does what?
Well, Tammy, I think there's a special somebody that can be delegated to different tasks. So if I look at a holistic professional, psychic medium, astrologer, tarot, or if yoga practitioners, in whatever they feel called to do, you cannot know everything. So you may go and check information out there, or even ask for help to help you out with parts of your business, of your work, right? Because once you do this more constantly, then you understand this becomes your livelihood too. So if it becomes your livelihood, then you tend to invest more into yourself, into your business.
Yeah,
So once you grow, then your needs also grow. And look, we all have different interests, and I believe there's a certain capacity of how much information you can gather.
yeah,
So I believe there's roles and responsibilities that can be delegated to what you need.
yeah,
um and I think more people should be looking at that and accepting that fact that there's nothing wrong to not know everything. Nobody knows everything. It's about collaboration and addressing your needs, just as they address the needs of their clients. They have a role, they focus on that role. If they need more help, as you said, they can hire coaches or go for a program, or hire somebody to do that task for them, or themselves they can go and research. And thank God that there's a lot of resources out there. Everything has evolved at large, and it doesn't have to be a very expensive. You can go on YouTube and find out what you need. If you need help, there's different communities, and there's also wonderful people that are there to help. So it's a
yes,
good time.
yes, yes. I love it. Um, what do you feel like COVID brought to us as a collective?
Wow, that's a interesting question. I'm gonna take my time to answer this one.
Yeah,
I Before COVID, actually, I started a podcast at the time, and I ran 11 episodes. And then the COVID came, and personally, and other people that I spoke to, we all just fell down in our emotional state, so to say. Personally, I'm somebody who I really enjoy freedom. I really enjoy doing what I want when I want, with respect to other people, and
yes,
it was something new for everybody. And if I fast forward everything in my life, it did bring transformation, because I needed more clarity on what kind of work I want to do. See, because that was the time when I was looking to pivot my work on which field I want to focus more in. Because at the base, I'm a technologist. So I love technology, and technology comes in many ways. Technology can also be spiritual.
yeah,
It's many ways that can work.
yes,
And after those years, I had more time to research into this field. And my podcast at that time had to take a break because I didn't feel creative for some time. It's a tough environment
yes,
mentally to be locked up in your home. So that didn't feel creative at all. But as everything started to, become more normal and accept the facts and going on and hoping for the best, um, I feel it brought more peace. somehow to myself, and I feel it put a stop to spending habits, because you cannot go out to spend money. So I don't buy as many things as before, and that's good for my pocket. And I feel that it did bring some relationships closer also. And I feel my private relationship with my girlfriend at this time also has been strengthened, because we couldn't meet each other for a long time because of where she was living, and I couldn't. I
Oh,
was not able. Nobody was able to enter in Hong Kong at the time for a
yeah.
long time. So we held a relationship over phone. So we are still together today, and we are human beings working through our own things, so to say. But we try to find happiness in everything. So in some ways, it did bring some positives.
Yeah, I felt that way too. I felt like it brought a lot of gifts in the garbage. Because I actually was thinking today, I said, when COVID was, because I was in the grocery store and I'm really not a grocery shopper. I never really could stand it. I mean, it's one of those necessary evils to me. But my husband loves to shop. He's that. And so during COVID, we ordered, and so they brought the food to the door. And I do miss that. So because we don't order as much because we don't live far from there, but it's like, oh, gosh, we don't have to go to the store. So yeah, so I miss that. And then but I also believe that COVID actually caused a lot of us to slow down. It caused us to, because it put us at a stop, some of us, and we had to slow down and we had to take our time and we had to stop rushing. And I really believe that it brought a lot more presence. And then we had to be thankful because, so many people were dying. We had to be grateful that we weren't one of those, so I think, when I think about it, with so much craziness, and I work in the medical field, so I never stopped. Like I was always at work. We were essential work.
Mm.
Me and my husband, so we worked all through it. We just you had to wear masks all the time and all that, but we worked all through it. And I think both of us worked in COVID units and stuff at one time. So yeah, we
Wow.
something. But yeah, I really
That's
did.
that's on steroids. Work on steroids.
That's what it was. And it's yeah, and it was ooh. I always tell people, I'm like, yeah, working through it because I hear people saying, yeah, I was stuck in the house. I was like, yeah, no, I wished. I would have wished. But no, we went to work. I mean, and then we moved states. So
Oh,
so we went to work in one state, and then we, right in the beginning of it in May 2020, we moved here to Washington, and it was like another thing, and yeah, but it was crazy, but it did bring us some gifts, and I really do. I think that a lot of people woke up spiritually during that time too. And I think there were a lot of shifts in humanity for that. And then, people stepping into their gifts and, understanding that and, opening up this whole world of, I call it this whole world of God, outside
mm.
of religion and all of that, those doctrines and stuff. Just this whole world of spirit, and it's amazing. Um, so going forward, how are you first speak to how you work with people now in, spiritual people? Like, do you have like a membership or are you working more one to one or how are you doing that?
So, this one I was really contemplating on it, because for a long time I worked one on one. But then I realized it makes me more happy working in a group context, you see? Because first of all, it's also a matter of time. I can help one person in 10 hours, but I can help so many more people in 10 hours. And I believe that one person can learn something from the experience of somebody else in the group.
Yes.
So I was really contemplating on this one, you see. But if there's really a strong need, because there are some people who just are more private, then that's something we can definitely discuss. So at this stage, I gave something to the world, something in 54 minutes in a video format, focusing on how do I actually build an online presence? How do I build the websites? How do I do all of that? So, you know, that's your $1,000 saved right there for you. It's free, you know. So I just wanted everybody to have an opportunity to start somewhere, because maybe I didn't have all the opportunities growing up either, and maybe I didn't have money to pay. And I also met people in my life who were kind to me, and I tried to be a kind person too.
Yes.
And I felt sharing something with the world, it's nice,
Mm.
and giving everybody an opportunity who wants to go on that pathway. I know and I respect that not everybody wants to work as a professional or charge people or do it for free. It's their calling, their choice, what they want to do. But
Right.
it's an offering there, right? So whoever feels called to it, they can take it anytime. And it's so far, it's we're having some nice feedback. I also extended support. You know, it's not 24/7 support, but there's some basic support, because I'm realizing everybody's coming from different backgrounds, and I cannot be generous, you know, to be honest. I cannot be generous all day, all night. This is my door knock. Come when you want, leave when you. I cannot. I have to respect my boundaries also in my private time and my private life also. So there is some basic support offered. So I'll get back to people when I can do that. Um, but moving forward, I realized there's a lot of people who just want me to do it for them, from 0 to 100.
Right.
And, you know, running a business for them, it's already too much. And then I felt, how about we create a community that if you feel called to that, then there's an offering for you. And then you get not 54 minutes, maybe you get several hours of content that you can look, replay. You can join the live community. We can meet once a month on Zoom and stay 1 hour, 10 hours, whatever is needed for the community at that time. But we
Yes.
will also have continuous support within the community,
Yes.
right? Because if I need help and I go to some company, I always speak to the chatbot, to the AI. I don't have a living person talking to me, addressing my unique need.
Yeah.
So that's important to me, because my case and I am unique too. So I want somebody to understand and not read the script back to me. I want somebody to dedicate that time. And
Yes.
then I think that's something that I have to be honest, first of all, will make me happy if I am to release something, a program like that. I don't want to record something and put it up there and go to bed and wait for the money to come. I have to, you know, we're all people. We have a physical presence. We need to feed and shelter ourselves. So that makes a lot of sense. And this is with respect to everyone doing their own work. It's just my personal case on what I personally want to do. Um, and I felt this kind of support is needed.
Hmm.
A live support, you know, there's a problem. Okay, let's discuss it. But I also want to see where that person is. You know, somebody's already doing work already. Somebody already has a website, or somebody has a strong social presence already. So they may need something different from somebody who's in a different stage in their unfoldment. Maybe they are developing at this stage, and they're just only started to consider working with clients as a psychic medium or anything of that in that field. So I have to see where they are and help them where they are. And I believe that's how I wish to work with people.
I love that. I love that because so many people don't do that. I've noticed that there are so many cookie cutter programs, is what I call them. One size fits all. And I was actually speaking to a friend about that. I said, that doesn't even make sense. How in the world can one size fit all? And then I bought something that said one size fits most.
But you know, there's the right approach uniquely for you. And that's the right approach in everything. Wherever you go, if you want to eat something, you go out for dinner or for lunch, there is something unique that only you know that you like, or um, you want to experiment sometimes, you know? You
Yeah.
don't get that with the shelf product, you know? That's something tailored to you.
Mhm.
That's what we call a personal experience.
Yeah.
That's what became outstanding service.
It's it's like, oh my God. But that's true. And it's like, because I noticed, just like you said, everybody's not in the same space. because what I do a lot is thing I love to do is I love to teach, and I love to teach about spiritual gifts and helping people to come into their intuition. But what I notice is that the first thing that I have to do before usually I do any of that is I have to connect them to their God self. I have to ground them, help them, understand about grounding
Mm,
and stuff like
mm,
that, because you can't even get into any of that before they're there. But and
mm,
then there are other people that they already know about that. They know about grounding, they know about connecting and all this stuff. And so then we can go into, the other things. Okay, this is your clairaudience, your claircognizance or whatever. And it's just so amazing to watch, and see the light bulb moments come, to their faces. So in light of that, what lights you up when you work with people?
mm. I wanted to ask you some questions when you share this, but I hope I have the opportunity to ask you the question.
Sure, sure.
I feel, I feel when I am to work with somebody, the most important aspect is the growth that I see inside of them and that transformation and the experience that they are taking from that. That's what lights me up. And,
Mm,
you know, I I come from a background where many years I didn't see that light, you see, and somehow something happened, and then I found, let's say, part of that light, because I'm still on a journey.
yes.
And when I am to speak with somebody, when I am to work with somebody, when I am to understand another human being, I accept them where they are. I really take them as they are. I look to what their need is. Am I the right person for them to talk in that moment? And if I am, and I'll be honored to be, then that's what I take out of it. When I see that their greatest need was addressed, that it was not just addressed, but you see, I believe in an experience. An experience is something that you profoundly have inside of you. It's
Yes.
not something I tell you or something you may read about or something you hope for. It is something
Yes.
that's living right there.
Yes.
And that's when I see that bright coming out, then that's what truly makes me very happy. But
Yeah.
don't have to force anyone, you see.
Yeah.
I'm just there to help and guide and support and hold their hand if they feel called to share with me.
That is so powerful. We need more people like you. We
Well,
do.
I'm just learning from you.
It's like you think about it, it's like, wow, that is what everybody needs, and because there's honestly not, I haven't seen a lot of that out there. And I've been on this journey for a few years now, and I have not seen a lot of that, and it saddens me, it makes me sad when I see it, but you know,
Well,
um,
I didn't understand it either, for some years. As I said to you, I came from a different background, so I wasn't so open to people in the past. So, I believe it's a time for everything and maybe an opportunity to, and maybe a chance, and taking a plunge also in something that maybe you don't dig every day.
yeah,
And then different opportunities are created.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's like, I guess when you start to open up in that way,
Mm,
it's almost like they're gonna come. They're gonna come. I mean, it's up to you to take them and run with them, but they're gonna come. It's like a football, when somebody throws it in your direction, it's gonna come. Or if somebody I think you guys do soccer, right? If somebody kicks it in your direction, it's gonna come, right?
indeed.
And you can decide whether you're gonna kick it, you're gonna pick it up, you're gonna hit it, or what you're gonna do.
I like how you're, sharing on this matter, because how I will associate that, it's usually when people have like, they're at the crossroads that something significant is happening. But you're giving the example of the soccer. And I saw the case being with many people when they're like in their greatest need, when they don't know what to do anymore, then that's when that incredible growth happens when it may not come instantly, it may
Yeah.
be some glimpses, but
Hmm.
it creates an opportunity, and it creates an opportunity for the psyche, I believe, to look into something else.
Yes, I
And
agree.
that's where that potentiality is being created. And hopefully there are the right people around them.
Yes, yes, I'm telling you it. And that is so real, and a lot of people don't realize that environment is so important. The people that you allow in your energy and even in your circles is so important, and yeah, that's like huge, huge. Um,
Tammy, can you tell me, because I don't wanna go too far from this question, and I think it's also good at this time.
yeah,
How do you help people to ground? Because you were mentioning this, like I know it's a longer discussion, but once you meet somebody who, spirits, energy, what are you talking about? It's like, but they still have a curiosity. Don't get me wrong, they still have an openness.
yeah.
How do you actually help people to ground?
So typically I'll give them a couple of ways. I'll tell them they can, you can close your eyes and you can do it by intention. Set your intention that that's what you want to do. Bring in the light, whatever color light people say, oh, the white light, no, I don't think it matters. Bring in the light, whatever color light you want to see, bring it in, bring it down all the way through your body. And I tell them just send it all the way down. Or I tell them go outside, put your feet on the grass, you know, or go to some water, put your feet in the water, take some breaths, and this is usually what I'll do. Because a lot of times what I find out is that people aren't breathing. They're not breathing. Think about it. You hold your breath, a lot of times you get scared. What do? You hold your breath, so
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
breathing, and I find that. And a lot of times that will take them there, like nothing else. Just breathing, stopping, taking a deep breath, getting present, all of those things. So because it's so important to me because I know I was that person for years where I just wasn't present, and that is still my battle because I'm neurodivergent and probably, autistic too, but I've not ever been diagnosed, but I see the signs and I know. But that's always the journey is, staying present and being present. Not being in the past because you can't fix that shit and not being in the future, just being right here, right now.
But that's also the most difficult thing to do, not to think of anything and be right here, right now. We can hear all this wonderful meditation, Eckhart Tolle and other things, be here now. Nothing else matters, nothing else is created. Um, but I know how challenging that is also. And I believe you also know too. And it may sound very weird to some people listening to this. How do you stay here and right now? And all I can say is just a journey. And maybe this is the first step of the journey. Maybe at this time that you're just hearing this, maybe it's an opportunity.
Yes. My grandmother used to say, she would say, if I talked to her about challenges or something, she would say,
Hmm.
just live a little longer. And I find myself telling people that, live a little longer because you know what? Tomorrow is another day, you know.
That brings opportunity,
I
a
was,
new opportunity.
she used to say, tomorrow's another day to make magic. And I,
Wow.
I think about that. It's like tomorrow's another day to make magic. Today wasn't the
How
only day,
beautiful.
right? So yeah,
Wow.
just thinking about that, it's like, ah. So what do you see for not only yourself, but the community that you serve for the future? Like what's your big vision?
Tammy, that's a great question. What do you think the future will bring? Where do you see yourself tomorrow or in 5 years?
Right?
And I'm gonna tell you something. Honestly, I wanted to work at Microsoft, in a division there. I
Yeah,
never did that. I always worked for myself, and I felt, yeah, it was the money, lots of money, and I felt that it's an opportunity for me to work with people because I enjoyed working with people. I'm not just a lone wolf, so to say.
right.
Um, and I made progress in that, and I was on that path. And yeah, obviously I applied and got rejected. And then I say, okay, I need to know how this thing works because I'm not gonna go this way, thousands and thousands of applicants. So I looked at an office location that I was interested in this case, Hong Kong. And I checked these people's LinkedIn accounts. I checked they post as a group. There was a picture, 80 people. They had like maybe it was a holiday and the whole team went on the balcony.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Everybody that I saw, they were incredibly overworked. I saw no smile. I saw sadness, including the director. I saw no smile in those 80 people, not even the people who were not facing the camera. They were just sitting and eating. They were not happy. And then I said, no matter the money, I don't want to live like this. I'd rather be poor all my life, but have my own freedom and my own happiness. And I say this with respect. Everybody has the choice on what they do.
Yeah.
But I knew that will not be my future. So when you ask me about the future, what do I want to do? How do I see the future? I say, even if there's little money or no money, I want to truly live and help and serve people that are on the same pathway or on similar pathways of this holistic work. And what that will be, what do I see for the people? This is for them to answer. We're just friends here. We're just friends here. You know, they might be on this field for a while and then grow into something else, and that's wonderful.
Yes. Yes.
I'm and I believe it's welcoming people where they are. If there's a great need, then they will know what to find. If
Yeah.
they need help, they will need where to find. You know, there's different music and sounds out there, but not all the music or the sounds are for everybody.
Right.
There's a unique melody that everybody is on, and I respect and I celebrate that. We're all unique.
Yeah.
So I will say to people that it's not really about me, what I see. It's more about what they need today and the day after. I don't see look for the next 5 or 1 year. The future has not been created. But you are in charge of creating your future, and you're in charge of growing from things that may have happened positively or negatively in the past, which ultimately is just ways for us to grow
Yeah.
that takes us and carries us over. So this is a question for everybody to ask themselves: what do they want in their life? And it's an important one
Yes.
because many people want to be happy, you see. So I may share on how I found happiness. You may share, Tammy, on how you found happiness,
Yeah.
but I cannot tell how John or somebody else might find happiness because happiness is very different for everybody. We all have different interests out there.
Yes.
But if they feel called to speak with other people, that they said something that called to them, then that's all right. And then feel free to stop that friendship. It's all right. You know, we're all it's like the seasons.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need something. We're human beings, always evolving. Our interest always evolved. The whole nature of the universe, it's always growing. If that always grows, then I know as a person, I always grow. Even the animal, the bird, we have chicken here. We have a little farm. They want to be more than what they are already. They have a large yard, you see, but they
Yeah.
want to go outside the yard because they want even more freedom. So then the nature is that we always grow. So I will say honor where you are today. Honor where you are today. And if you don't know what you need today, guess what? You're just finding more of things and tools that could help you be on a pathway. So find your way. Find your way or create one and be inspired by others around you. I think that can be a shining light on a pathway.
Yes. I think that's awesome. That's so powerful. All righty. So we're going to land this plane, but in those attempts, I have one question that I ask all of my guests, and I've never gotten the same answer. So if
Okay.
there was one thing in the world that you could change, what would it be and why?
Hmm. I don't believe I will need to change anything. I'm a human being. and I accept whatever happened. And I lived great times and I lived not so great times. But I believe everything had a purpose.
Yes.
And ultimately, it's up to us as individuals to find happiness and joy in our own actions and hopefully hope for a better time if we need a better time. So, you know, it may sound something negative or positive today, but it's always in your power to create that
Mm,
outcome that you need. Everything can be shifted. If you had a relationship that didn't go well, it's also in the power to shift that to a positive outcome if you choose to. And I I leave it as such. I don't believe in something to be changed. And you hear this everywhere. And I also hear the same similar response on podcasts and everywhere. And I always question, come on, he must have something he wants to change in his life. And, I always think about that. But no, because everything that happened, it's like a puzzle piece, you see. And when I speak about myself, if I change something, I wouldn't be the person you see in here today.
yes.
So I leave that choice to every person out there.
That's exactly how I feel.
There
But
you go.
I think this is the first time that I've gotten that answer because most people, they have something that they would like to change in the world. So share now with the people where they can find you, where they can connect with you, the best place to connect. And also, if you have anything that you're enrolling or anything you're doing, feel free to share that.
So they will just look for my name. It's Claudiu Craciun, and I have a website. I'm on everywhere on social media. I recently started a YouTube channel too. Getting the hang of things, talking alone to the camera myself, and figure out the tech, the gear, and getting a better microphone and things like that. So if they feel called to have a discussion, or they just simply want to go and follow some of the work. I give a lot of resources out there. They don't need to necessarily pay me for something, because a lot of it's given for free, because I want people to have a chance and an opportunity. And not everybody needs to go into live programs or things like that or need my help at all. They can just do it themselves. If they need a friend, then they can join our community also. And I also wanted to leave people with something.
Yes.
Um, I believe it's everyone's choice who they feel called to work with someone. It's their choice. But what I wanna something that maybe I didn't focus today was why this field? Why holistic professionals? Why psychic mediumship? Why everything we spoke before?
Yes.
Because even though I come from a technology background, I also come from a background of love. I also come from a background of spirituality. When I speak spirituality, I speak of what people may call magic, and being on a pathway of understanding and not having teacher around me to teach me what my emotions are and what to do with them, and being scared of noises that I may hear as a child and not knowing what to do with them. And that's what I feel we all have in common in this field, because I know what you're going through. I know how life may have been for you growing up. I
Yeah.
know how life may have been later on, and I know how life could be if you had a dearly departed one. And I know how it is to feel emotions that most people cannot feel, but they may be open to feel in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why this field, because it's always been in my heart. I just didn't understand it for many years
Love it.
until a few years ago.
Mm, that's so powerful because I know that there are people watching us or that will be watching us that have been there. I can say that I've been there. Because life is a journey. And the thing that I love about it is, I used to think it was a sprint, but now I realize at almost 56, now I realize that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. you know? And there are times when you have to sprint, and then there are other times where, you can stroll, so that's amazing, the way you laid that out. I thought that was so perfect. All right,
Thank you.
so
I hope it helps.
I'm sure it will. Because the thing
Well,
is that sometimes there's only one word, or
mm,
just one thing that somebody needs to hear, you know?
what I feel like at the end of everything here, take what you need. We all share something. We all take what really you need,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yes, I love that. And that is exactly. And the thing is, because I think about that too, because I just, I'm such a giver. And I, I looked at my YouTube channel the other day and I said, I got whole workshops on there for free. Because I get it, I give it, I whole workshops. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was like, man, but then I thought about it and I was like, you know what though? Um, it's my mission, because like you, I feel like, the people need help. People need to feel love, and the people that need to pay for it are going to pay for it. The people
Well,
that
th-
don't,
that's
you know,
that's how it is. It takes energy out of you. You obviously did a lot of development, maybe a lot of tears in your process of growing and everything. So, it's all there on a silver platter and you're generously giving. And it's such an incredible gesture to offer something from your kindness that it took you a lot to come to this point.
yeah,
And I want to honor that as well. And I know it's not easy.
yeah,
And there is there if they need it, there is at least a starting point somewhere. But I
yeah,
also believe in a fairness of the work, because it does take time out of you to be
yes,
there for the people.
yes,
So if they
absolutely,
need more help tailored to them, or the holding of the hand, or the support, or why this happened in that way, and they want to save time and years possibly learning something on their own, then that's where they can find you.
yes. And it's amazing what you said. It almost feels like, you want to help people to lessen the learning curve that you
Mhm.
had to learn because there was nobody. And it's funny
Exactly.
because that's exactly the way I feel. I feel like I learned a lot, me in spirit, and nobody. And I think if I could be a person that could shine the light for somebody and say,
There
here,
you go.
let's go this way. Don't go that way. Go this way. know. And it's to me, it's an amazing place to be, and I almost, I mean, I wouldn't do anything else, and I think about it because I've 33 years in the medical field and I'm almost retired. And I think about it and I say, because this work is so important. We need this. Our world looks chaotic right now. We need people that are doing this work, you know. So, but I have so much gratitude to you and I'm grateful that you're here and I love being in your energy. Just have to tell you that.
Thank you, Tammy. Same here. You're such a wonderful person. Thank
You
you for having me.
Yes, and thank you for coming. All right, we're going to shut this down. I so appreciate you guys watching or listening, wherever you are listening or watching. But we're so grateful that you took time out of your busy day because you could be doing anything else, but you're here listening to us on Straight Outta Savannah. So make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to whatever channel and whatever medium that you're listening or watching this, and we appreciate you. And make sure that you are following Claudio because all of his details will be in the show notes. So thank you so much for joining. Bye now. You just finished watching my guest, Claudio. He is such an amazing, 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 beautiful human. And I hope that something that he said made so much sense to you. And if you're a psychic medium, a channeler, a spiritual entrepreneur, you really want to be following him because he is trying to help make our lives easier. And he spoke so much truth and so much authenticity, and his energy is just beautiful. And so I'm so glad that you watched. And I hope that, something he said resonated with you. So, again, my name is Tammy Morrison. I am a spiritual teacher, mentor, psychic medium, channeler, divine human. And I love to help people to step into their spiritual gifts. If you feel like you are being called to be a psychic or a medium or a psychic medium, because all psychics are not mediums, but all mediums are psychics. So if you feel that you are called in that arena and you would like to have some support around it and some community, you can join my um, Unlocking Your Psychic Potential Development Circle that happens weekly on Zoom. We come together in a supportive community in a safe space where you get to learn, grow, and practice. And so, if that is something that you are looking for, make sure that you reach out to me on whatever platform you're on, or you can go in the description and find where I'm located. My Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I think my email is even in there. So you can reach out to me and let me know that that's something that you are interested in. Or if you just want to have a clarity session, because I offer those by phone, 30-minute sessions, $55. So if that's something that you are looking for, check out my stand store where you can sign up. So again, thank you so much for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah. Bye now.